let's talk about certain mistakes that will tank your score. Number one, a lot of people are constantly looking at the clock during the question, after every second question. If you're constantly looking at the clock and again getting back to the question and solving it, and then again looking at the clock, it is going to get super distracting, and you are not going to be able to focus well, because of which you will be prone to making careless mistakes. So stop looking at the timer after every question. You look at the timer after 5 or 6 questions and not before then. So stop looking at the timer after every question, keep a bunch of 5 questions, and then check the timer and go on. Second, a lot of people, they keep a note of a pacing strategy, but they never really apply it and never really refine it or personalize it. I told you, right? 5 questions can be answered in 8 or 9 minutes, and sometimes you can actually do that in even 7 minutes. But you need to look at what your strengths are and double down on them and personalize the pacing strategy, test it out, experiment. Hit and trial will allow you to come up with a very personal kind of a strategy that would work for you and may not work for anyone else. And why do you even care, right? I mean, it's important for you to test your pacing strategy on every mock that you take. If you're taking a mock test and not using your pacing strategy, that mock test is actually just a waste, like a complete waste. Third, I see a lot of people, they time up in the sense that they say, I'm going to take 5 minutes. And then when they say, I'm going to take 5 minutes, they have to subtract 5 minutes from the countdown that's running on the screen, right? The timer actually counts down, it doesn't count up. So counts down as in, if there are 65 minutes in the verbal section, you know that from 65 onwards, it's going to go to 64, 63, 62, 61, and all the way until 0. So it's important for you to memorize your pacing chart in the same manner, where you say that, okay, after 5 questions, should hit 57 minutes. After 10 questions, the timer should hit roughly around 47 minutes. So memorize your pacing chart in that same order. Down, don't count up. Otherwise, you'll end up wasting so much of time in just calculating. This is very obvious, but some people still do this for some reason. So I thought of taking this up over here. And I talked about taking those extra few seconds, right? It really helps to actually pause after a quant question specifically, to just run through the options of answering the question. And you will find that typically the instinctive approach, the one that clicks to you the first time, is generally not the most efficient way of answering question. So these are some of the mistakes that you'll find to be really, that will really kind of tank your score. So one, looking at the time constantly after every question. Second, not refining, not testing your pacing strategy with every mock. If you're taking a mock test, you should be getting closer to the strategy that you're going to be using on the exam. If you're not, then you're wasting mocks, and there's anyway dearth of quality mocks in the market. So please utilize the mock judiciously. And third, counting up and not down. So don't count up. You need to count down the way it works on the exam. The timer is set in a countdown manner, not in a counting up manner. And last, take those extra few seconds to really kind of run through the options in your head. That will really help you to figure out exactly what's the most efficient way of answering the question, right? So these, you avoid, you will again see a decent enough jump in your score.